Hello everyone, today I'll be doing a review on a Lionel Santa Fe number 3751 484 steam locomotive. But first, here's a little historical information on the 3751. The 3751 was built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works and delivered to the Santa Fe in May of 1927. The 3751 was the first 484 on the Santa Fe, as well as the very first 484 built by Baldwin. In 1927, the Santa Fe paid $99,712.77 for this locomotive. Although that may seem like a bargain, one has to remember that a brand new 1927 Ford Model A cost $385. Although the 484s were considered dual-purpose locomotives on the Santa Fe, and some were indeed used in freight service, the 3751 spent its 26-year career on the Santa Fe in passenger service. Upon its retirement from service, it was placed at Viaduct Park, located in San Bernardino, California, where it remained until 1986, when it was purchased by the San Bernardino Railroad Historical Society. After a 5-year restoration, the 3751 returned to steam on August 15, 1991, and has been in excursion service ever since. And now, onto the review. Lionel made this locomotive in 2004. Some of its features include Trainmaster Command Control, Rail Sounds 5.0, a wireless tether, 2 Fatboy speakers, Odyssey speed control, and an electro coupler at the rear of the tender. On the front of the locomotive, one of the first things you'll notice is a see-through pilot that also features rivet detail on the top and bottom of each bar. There's also a coupler lift bar and a scale-sized coupler that can be replaced with a traditional-sized old-gauge coupler. There are also 2 air pumps, an illuminated headlight, 2 illuminated marker lights, and a bell that swings manually. On the right side of the locomotive, you will find a builder's plate, which is legible if you have very good eyesight, or, as in my case, a magnifying glass. You will also find a turret valve located on top of the cylinder. All the piping, as well as the sand lines, are all separately applied, and you can actually trace each sand line to the drive wheels, which are all see-through. On the top of the cab, you will find 2 vents which slide open and closed, as well as a sliding window and a cab shade on each side of the cab. Inside the cab, you will find both an engineer and fireman's figure. The interior of the cab is also illuminated. Across the top of the backhead, you will find 11 turret valves. And although the backhead is very nicely detailed, a little paint on the face of each gauge would greatly add to its appearance. On the left side of the locomotive, you'll find another builder's plate, 2 more turret valves on top of the cylinder, more separately applied sand lines, as well as a 3rd air pump located under the cab. On top of the locomotive, you'll find 2 illuminated number boards, 3 pop-off valves, and a whistle, which are all separately applied. A nice feature on this locomotive is that there is a cord running from the cab to the whistle, as well as a second cord that runs from the cab to the bell. A unique feature for this locomotive is that it comes with 3 interchangeable smokestacks. Besides the smokestack you see on the locomotive now, it also comes with a telescopic smokestack, as well as a curved smoke bonnet. The tender is also detailed very nicely. On the tender, you'll find 1 pickup roller on each truck. The truck side frames also feature cast-in roller bearing detail, as well as 2 brake shoes for each wheel. The front steps are cast into the body shell, while the rear steps are separately applied. There are also front and rear handrails, as well as handrails and lines on top of the tender that are all also separately applied. On the rear of the tender, you'll find an electro coupler, a separately applied ladder, as well as an illuminated marker light. You'll also find a tender batch plate, as well as the number and capacity for the oil and water tanks printed on back of the tender. On top of the tender, you'll find 2 opening hatches. Inside of the rear hatch, you'll find a volume control for the rail sounds, as well as a switch for either the rail sound or signal sounds mode. Well, this concludes my review of the Lionel Santa Fe 3751. If you would like to see a video of this locomotive in operation, there are many of them already available on YouTube, including 3 that I have uploaded. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this review.